Hey, it's Julia Sudo here with Monkey Ball 2 by Bites. This is just going to be a shorter episode because I wanted to get something out today, but I don't have that much time to record. So we're going to be going into World 10 now. World 10 is definitely going to take more than one video because it's extremely hard, as I think I mentioned last time. Um, Definitely, it's at least easily on par with Super Monkey Ball 1 Master. So, if you've played that, you know what I'm talking about in terms of difficulty. But it really can't be overstated just how difficult this is. Um, this is probably one of the easier levels in World 10. Um, as you see, it's just a series of jumps, sort of. Um, but you really have to keep moving here because the platforms are curved for one thing, and you also need enough speed to jump from one to the next. It's kind of like Expert 25 from Super Monkey Ball 1, only considerably more difficult. But still, it's very doable. Um, Considerably more so than some of the later levels, I would say. Um, for example, this is already a harder level than that. I like the minimalist background here, and I think I mentioned the sort of ambient music in the last video. It gives you, I don't know, a lot of makes it feel calm. It makes it feel like there's just, it's just you and the level. Like there's not that much to distract you, I guess. Which fits the last world because this is just, it is so difficult at times. And it also has like remix stuff for like pretty much like a ton of stuff that appears earlier in the game. That last part is sort of based on the level Tilt Wire that appears in challenge mode. And this is based on um, a level that used to be in World 10 and Monkey Ball 1, but is now in Expert Extra. I can't remember what this one's called, but the structure of this section is very similar here. Oh, I forgot about this part of the music. It's not always so ambient, but it's still considerably calmer and quieter than the music in the earlier worlds, I'd say. Um, okay. So, yeah, for this, you just kind of have to keep up with the rhythm of the platforms. Again, World 10 gets harder as you continue, so this is probably one of the easier levels, and it's already very difficult. Oh no, that's very unfortunate. Um, so I think we're only going to do one or two levels after this, probably. Um, I believe the next one is Surgical, which is I think probably a considerable jump in difficulty even compared to this. Um, so that's cool. I mean, it's appropriate. This is the last world. I'm happy that it's so difficult. I don't mind difficulty in games. I think it's very appropriate, especially for something like Super Monkey Ball, which the original games are pretty hard, so it's appropriate, especially the first game. But SMB2 has some hard stuff too. But I'd say it's an easier game overall, helped by the number of by the fact that you have infinite continue, or the fact, no, not that you have infinite continues, that you have um, 99 lives per continue, though. I think Expert in Super Monkey Ball 2 may actually be harder on average than the first game, but it's a lot easier to get to the extra stages, just given the higher number of lives you have. Mm-hmm. As usual. Oh shit, I switched to Super Monkey Ball 1 camera. Oops. you can do that in this mod. You switch to the Super Monkey Ball 1 camera by pressing Z on your controller. So that's just a nice feature that was added. I can't remember if I've mentioned that in this series already. But it's supposed to be useful for certain levels just because of how the camera turns is a little different. It's more responsive in certain ways or something, or less responsive in a way that's useful. I can't remember which. And also, it's zoomed in more a bit, too. So some people like it. I remember it was recommended for dumbbell, or whatever that one's called, the barbell, the one in World 8 that's where you have to kind of go off of, like, bank off of the ramps, whatever that one's called. The Super Monkey Ball 1 camera is recommended for it, but it's doable with or without, as is everything. The camera is like kind of the only major difference in the kind of feel of Super Monkey Ball 2 versus Super Monkey Ball 1, although I guess they have certain physics differences too, but it's pretty minor overall, as you can see by playing Deluxe, where you can play all the Super Monkey Ball levels, Super Monkey Ball 1 levels, and with the mechanics of the second game, and it's not, there's not really much changed aside from the small timing changes that Deluxe made, which are significant, but that's not directly related to the physics of the game. And okay, so we'll do Surgical now, and this will probably be the last stage we do in this video. This one is just sort of your average narrow walkway level with a very narrow walkway, and then there's like a ramp at the end also that you have to go down. Oh, and it has these things. Yeah. So that's a little difficult too, but it's nothing that's not doable. Oops. Okay. There are a lot of levels in World 10 that are just sort of like a series of unrelated challenges. They kind of remind me of like the exam levels from Super Monkey Ball 1, which I do appreciate. But these have a little more variance instead of just being like narrow walkways or whatever with different shapes. They have a lot of different kinds of challenges, and I do like that too. Kind of reminds me of Expert 4 from Super Monkey Ball 1, which I'm also a fan of. Although it's a level I rarely play, just due to how the warps are set up in Expert. Okay, and so for this, you kind of just gotta go up these carefully, and you can also fall off if you don't pay attention to what you're doing. The time limit is actually rather significant in many World 10 levels. You kind of have to rush on some of these. Not so much this one, but certainly some of the later ones. The last stage in World 10, Culmination, is kind of all about the time limit, because in terms of its content, it's actually, I think, a lot easier than many World 10 levels. But it makes up for it by having, like, a 60-second time limit, even though it's the longest stage in the game. So you really have to, like, rush on it, like, seriously rush. And that makes it very, very hard. It's one of the two hardest stages in this mod, I'd say, along with Brackets, which is also in World 10, and which we will tackle in a moment. Well, I also haven't done Master Extra, though, so that might have some harder levels, too, because I haven't reached Master Extra yet. Okay, yeah, we'll definitely stop the video after completing this level. It shouldn't take me too much longer. Okay. Oh, no. Oh, no. And again, if you think this is crazy, just wait until I get to some of the later levels in World 10. Um, this is really quite something. Although this is one of the harder ones, I think, if I remember correctly, it was one of the ones that kind of gave me a ton of trouble the first time around. I think I'll get it soon though. The ending part is not hard. Once I get past this, you just sort of have to go down a ramp to jump. But, okay, this is a bit of a sticky situation here. But I got a handle on it. Okay, yeah, so you just kind of have to go down to this ramp and jump, get onto this, and that's the goal. Yeah. So we're going to wrap up here. As I said, this needs to be a shorter episode, so thanks for watching. We'll get into the next video, the rest of the levels next time. It'll probably take me 2 or 3 more videos. So see you next time.